And oh my gosh, it really does just seem like an absolute breeze to be back out in the standard dungeon after going through those the S branches for so long here. Especially with how the shoals too turned out and how scary all that was. Like a whole nother world out here. Yeah, 8-headed hydras with 48 AC. And just hold down tab throughout the entire thing, which is pretty awesome. It's not every run that you get to do stuff like that, but that is truly the beauty of the Gargoyle here. Because yeah, what is our AC innately? Plus 13. Just ridiculous. That's why Gargoyles are also one of the few classes besides like demigods or Che worshippers. They're one of the few classes that can both be a spellcaster and end the game with like 60 plus AC and whatnot. But there we go. D12, little spick and spam, just blowing through this. I mean, rune plate armor, let's actually pick this up. Because we may as well wear that and see what it does. Fire resistance armor. I think we're good for the moment. But that might be something, especially if we don't find any really solid armors throughout the rest of the run. And really need another pip of RF, Orbs of Fire or something. Who knows if we might have to resort to that bad boy. So no complaints there. Do a quick check-in on my skills, give myself a little bit of a break to take a sip as well. Keep forgetting my drink is here today. Okie dokie. Makes my swallows so much more aggressive when I haven't drank anything for a while. It's like my body forgets how to do it. But okay. Floor 13 still shouldn't be anything too scary for the most part. Should be easier than what we've been dealing with again. Though, of course, as is always, the little fine print at the bottom of that in a DCSS game is that we still could find something much, much scarier than all that for all we know. Never any guarantees. Like a boulder beetle, for example. What a pain in the butt. Oh my lord, get back over here. There we go. At least a lot easier than the one we dealt with back in the day, which makes sense. I would hope so with this many levels between us. And wow, that was probably one of the easiest vault entrances I've ever had to fight. Usually those are quite scary. But not a complaint. Please, Iron Jesus, don't take that as a complaint. That's exactly what we want every time. And keep it moving here. Oh, Jesus, let's be a little bit careful. 88 damage. Can't one-hit us, so never mind. Let's just face tank, I guess. Was worried that it was hitting that ridiculous range. I think a Titanic slime. Oh, I'm blanking on how much. It's definitely over 100, I feel. That's my gut instinct. But I do not remember exactly how much damage those buddies do. But, ooh, demonologists. Oh, 110. Nice. Thanks, VCOC. It's nice to have someone who actually knows things in the chat instead of everyone having to rely on my extremely unreliable information. In fact, just the fact that I was pretty close with that impresses me. But here's a good little showcase of our javelins and just how powerful it is to have that piercing effect. Able to take out both these demonologists while their summons are swamping the way between us, which is absolutely lovely. Once you die to one, you never forget. That's definitely a fair point. Oh, geez Louise. Let's maybe run back to a corridor. Oh, never mind. Not a corridor. That's just a stairwell, I guess. But and then empty blank space with more enemies. So let's not head that way. Ooh, and there's our first hit of corrosion, I guess. I did see a resist corrosion ring in a shop. I hope that was out here. Okay, that was in Snake 3, yeah. Because if it had been in one of the, or in the interdimensional caravan and I missed it, that would be quite unfortunate, because that is a ring that's handy to have as an option at the very least. Did you know you can use Lomlobot? I guess Lomlobot. There we go. To have access to the DCSS Learn database for the stream chat. Ooh, that's very interesting. In general, I've been super behind in implementing bots to my chat. It's something that I have no real knowledge on. So I've just been a little hesitant on it. I should actually pick one that's actually in a coding language I know, so that I could potentially modify it in the future or something. That could be fun. But it's definitely something I've been meaning to check out. And oh, dang it. Okay, turned us into a pig. So we're gonna pop in here and potion of cancellation to immediately change that nonsense. Jesus. And javelin time. There we go. Another decent example. But no, so yeah, Railbird, I'll check it out for sure. And if I at all am able to figure stuff out, even though it's not super likely, especially if I want to do a bit of homework for how easy it is to have multiple bots in the system and stuff, even though I'm sure, I think I've seen that before. I spent too little time actually participating on Twitch, because up until the day I started streaming, I was just a by the book lurker for sure. But that sounds very cool and interesting, because I do know that that's one of the really big advantages that I would normally associate with playing online tiles, is that online tiles has the bot that you can bring into your chat that I'm blanking on the name of right now, that's the same where they search the database for you, which is sweet. All you have to do is subscribe to Lomlobot using this link. Oh yeah, I don't have links enabled, unfortunately, in my chat here. But Railbird, if you even want to whisper me that link, I'll appreciate it, and I'll definitely check it out and see how it looks. So, back to the game here. I just read an identify scroll. Oh my gosh, brain was shutting down on me midstream here. Let us go with potions, because I was going to say heal wounds has still not been identified, and there we go. We finally get our hands on that officially. Though again, not quite as necessary when you have Gozag by your side, because Potion Petition can do a lot of the heavy lifting in that regard. And not too shabby. I guess, yeah, we're already down to D4 here. Just about through the entire area. Once we go down to D15, we're going to have to be a little bit cautious. Hopefully the depths entrance isn't too well guarded by anything wizard-like, because we're very much lacking in the willpower department, as is the mantra of each and every one of our runs so far in this series. You know what? Never change, DCSS. Just be yourself. Oh my gosh. So not only has this run had the fortune of running into Shoals and Snake, both the humanoid branches with shops, I think this is also by far the most shops I've ever seen on a run up till this point. Like, it's just absurd, one after the other. It's awesome. I love it, game. Keep it up. But it's definitely noteworthy, in my book at least. But this shop is pretty awesome. We'll buy it Wand of Acid, Scroll of Blinking, and probably the Warp Chainmail as well. Identify that, see if it has any really nice little bits. Railbird, I wish you would do the link. Yeah, thanks, man. That helps out a lot. I will check it out in the future. Anything that makes it easier to do so on my end is definitely going to be pretty huge. But, oh boy. Okay. There's the chainmail we've been gunning for this whole time. And look at that outfit too. We are now starting to match up a little bit, have a bit of a fashion sense here. Gold and red is definitely the theme now. So, RF is already pretty amazing, but most of all, willpower is what I've so desperately wanted all my life in these win with every species runs. So, that is lovely. Let's drop our old plate armor on the ground here, and oh, we should identify this necklace, a necklace of magic regeneration. Honestly, kind of nice because it means we can throw it away and not have to worry about inventory space. So that works out for me. As much as you usually want to have, oh geez, paralyzed is scary. Meh, actually not as bad as I expected. All you have to do is type !join to add bot to your Twitch chat, and then the chat will have access to the database. That's really cool. I probably won't do it midstream here, but definitely something I can check out for the next one. Okie dokie. So I was talking earlier about how I didn't want a scary depths vault. That wasn't that scary of a depths vault. Quite happy with how that turned out. We could have been paralyzed, I guess, with Ogre Mage, now that I think about it. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't think about it at the time. Saves us a little bit of stress and worry and our blissful ignorance there. But, not too bad whatsoever. The trove needs the Horn of Garyon to function. Okay. So this may be the first on-stream run that we dip our head into the gate of hell. Maybe take on Garyon, see how it goes. No promises, of course. We may just want to grab our 3 runes and get out of here. Snatch our victory. But it's always tempting to dip into those treasure troves, especially since that's not a horrible trade-off. The Horn of Garyon isn't horrible. Anything that summons in friends can be invaluable in saving your life. But definitely not something that I actively mind giving away. Whoa, the trove is forcing you to go to the vestibule of hell, right? If we want the sweet, sweet treasure, which of course we do, so 100% forced. Don't see how anyone can say no to glittering gold treasures and baubles. Dang it, don't know why my brain went for the quote that I already failed earlier today. Just showing that I need to go back and play some more Darkest Dungeon. It's been too long and I really need to hear Wayne's voice, I think. Is Wayne something? Now I'm blanking on everything I used to know and love about the game, including the voice of the narrator. It's incredible, but it's exciting, yeah. No, I like it when the trove has interest and stuff like that. My actually favorite trove requirements are when you have to get a rune to get in, because you don't have to hand it over, you just have to like present it to the trove. But I find that one to be a really fun challenge because it's like, oh, now you have to go to this branch all the way to the end, and that's really cool. I'm the type of player that likes to unlock everything in games, so that is something I can't pass on. That's very fair for sure. Also, I didn't realize how much of this corner... Oh, do you want a bunch of it? Is this ruined room? I was going to say how much of this corner Roxanne was blocking off, but it might just be this top bit, and then the rest is this ruined warded door, which we're not going to touch, because those are almost always not even close to worth the pain they cause. But, okay, we've cleared all the way down to depths. No problems already here. What do we wish to do now? Could head back to Shoals. I do kind of want to spread those 3 out a little bit. In fact, we have decent willpower now, especially if we... Oh, dang it, I dropped. Do a quick find will plus. I forgot that I was carrying around this scimitar just for that will thing, not because we wanted it. I should have maybe held on to that, because we finally have enough willpower to avoid banishment at the hands of Louise. So that would be pretty incredible. Maybe I'll go and grab Morg. It's an unrand art, slightly more fun, right? Also, again, forgot about Gastronoc, potentially lying in wait for us there, but all good. I think I'm gonna drop my poison darts since we have enough throwing items that we're probably not gonna have to rely on those at all. So it feels pretty good. Logical move, yeah. trying our best to play a little bit better. This is this victory streak on the line here, so it's the only place it matters even the little bit. It does. But okay, so that gives us full willpower stacks, which I'm pretty happy with. It's kind of tempting to call a merchant now that I think about it. Especially since we're in Snake Pit right now. Oh, do it, and just constantly stacking one thing on top of another. I bet there's also the Ring of Resist Corrosion here, right? There is. Okay, I'm gonna buy this real quick. Just for the future here, and we're gonna go to Lair 2. So this is gonna be a bit of an homage to the good old days of Crawl. So, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, back when enemies could interact with items quite a lot. Excuse me, sorry about that. You always had to make your stashes. So the most popular place was Lair 2, because there's almost no chance of monsters making it down 2 stairwells, and no creatures in Lair have hands, so they're not going to pick up your weapons. So you'd always go to Lair 2, the first or the quickest place to get to when you're coming down in the future, and make your stash there. So I still do this every once in a while, or actually most of my games when I haven't been on stream. I used to always still come down to Lair 2 for my stash, just because it's a hard muscle memory to break and it's kind of thematically fun. But yeah, I still make my stashes in Lair 2 from Railbird. Exactly, right? There's something to it. But it's especially true when I'm worshipping Gozeg, because you need a place to set up your market, right? If you're going to be calling in shops, might as well make a little bit of like a cool little main street here or something. So I'm going to call in one shop. We have a whole bunch of money, and I kind of want to see what we can get our hands on here. So we found, or we get an option between a few different shops to buy out here: an antique weapon shop, a gadget shop, or a book emporium. I mean, theoretically, we probably don't need a weapon shop. This trident is good enough, technically, to get us through the rest of the game. We've even seen proof of that before with a slightly worse trident of all things, a +10 instead of +11. So let's go with the gadget shop and hope that we get, I was really hoping for a condenser vein, as always. But it's still potentially tempting to pick up one of these. Box of Beast Summons saved our butt quite a few times on Murphy, and Tin of Tremor Stones is really nice for taking out mass amounts of unarmored enemies. Let's see, where's the evocation sitting at? You know, maybe we'll wait for the moment. We'll be back here. I guess I don't really know, because I still don't have a whole lot of experience, all in all, with Zot Clock. I don't know how detrimental it is, potentially, to be doing the old stash meta here, because it definitely takes some time going to and from. But I think, especially in just the 3-rune game where we're not doing any weird shouting shenanigans or anything, we should be fine, regardless. But an interesting question in my mind, and I'm kind of curious about it. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else. I wish we had our enchant weapon scrolls identified, because I'd throw them on the ground, save a little bit of room here. But as is, I think we're back to being all honky-dory, so I think now's the time where I'm going to start heading back to Shoals. Okie dokie. We're going to try and find a way to split off all of the uniques on floor 2 here. And on top of that, I'm going to go down where in Morgue, because I really want that willpower ramped up in case we run into Louise right away. I don't want to get banished turn 1 here, but I just try to stash stuff in convenient places they'll be passing back through from Rain. Yeah, that's definitely what I should be getting a handle for, figuring out, because that definitely seems like the way to go moving forward. And Control E should tell you the number of turns left on that floor. Let's do that. Let's, I meant Shift E, there we go. Let's Shift E. Perfect. It's embarrassing how much time I've spent As always, I'm such a slow player, but Zot will find us in 10,000 turns if we stay in this branch and explore no new floors. Nice, so we're doing super fine in terms of that. I found an RC file setting to always show it. Yeah, I think I noticed that. I was watching somebody stream a while back here. It's definitely seemed pretty cool. For the most part on this, I mean, I've always been just a little bit lazy in editing my RC file, even though I totally should have for years here. But now, the new lie that I've found that I can tell myself is that for new viewers, I want to keep like the vanilla experience here. So I'm probably not going to modify my RC file just to kind of show how you would normally deal with the vanilla file that you get on install, since that's what most average players will be dealing with their whole go through. But definitely good to know that there's an RC file. I feel like there's an RC file for almost anything and everything. It's really incredible. Or an RC file augmentation, I guess. Okay dokie. Oh, I'm attacking Louise with Morg. Right, I started tabbing there like a fool, completely forgetting that we're no longer using that weapon. I wonder if I could lose 1 pip of will, what kind of chances we have. But I think I do like you being at 2% chance of banishment. That's probably quite advantageous. So let's take the 2 of these bad boys upstairs, and let's even just tremor stones for fun. I actually should have tremor stoned probably downstairs before coming up, but I'll take it. You know what? That really didn't do much. Maybe a bit of a waste of time there, but that is all good. I'm just quickly checking. Do I want to just swing with Morg? I swing once per turn at least. Just trying to take down Louise as fast as possible here. Fortunately, neither of them can really deal damage to me either, it seems. What an interesting fight we have here. The unfortunate part about this that I don't like is the longer this fight goes on, the greater chance that one of those 2% actually lands. Do you know what? Let's Phantom Mirror her. That should do it. Even though now she might just banish herself. In fact, did she banish her clone or did they kill it? Shimmers and vanishes. Not actually sure how it got taken care of there. But geez, Louise. Hey, finally, the only appropriate timing for the catchphrase that I've been for some reason saying all the time lately. But geez, Louise, indeed, though. Okay, so this isn't working quite the way I originally planned it to. I should have probably switched to something other than continually swinging this little butter knife Louise's way for this many turns in a row, but hey, at least we're still alive, and I'm guessing, let's one more acid splash. Perfect. I was about to say, I'm guessing we're about to be through it, and so we are indeed. Oh, what a pain in the butt you were, Louise. I mean, ooh, tower shield. Might throw some more experience into shields here and get that up and running pretty soon here, but okay, now we don't have to worry quite so much about willpower, even though Ilsua, maybe that's the right way to pronounce it. I feel like Ilsua has willpower-based things as well. Did I leave her sprite anywhere, or did I just overwrite it? I think I just overwrote it, unfortunately. She was originally standing at the bottom of these stairs, so it's a mystery that we'll have to wait. But, oh my gosh, Nikola Tesla was here as well. I mean, we have our Alexa, not necessarily as much of a problem as he can be. But geez Louise. I thought I was being overly dramatic and hyperbolic when I earlier explained or mentioned 4 uniques down here. Immediately after saying it, I was like, well, there are actually just 3, I guess. I was jumped the gun a little bit there. But turns out there were 4. I just hadn't seen the 4th one yet. Nikola, you son of a gun. But okay, let's get the heck out of there so that we're not getting petrified and bouldered and electrified all at once. Instead, ooh, I don't like where we're going now, actually, as I continually continue to auto-explore. There we go. Okay, Nicola, just you, please. Just you. Come on, buddy. Okay. Perfect. This is what we need. I really wanted to try and spread them out a little bit. A series of one-on-ones is much more realistic than trying to take all three of those bad boys at once. But now it's just Polyphemus and Ilsui. I should just commit to one pronunciation instead of consistently just doing this weird little back and forth. Either or, it could be one, could be the other. But, do you know what? This Catoplebis almost qualifies as a unique level monster on its own. Just for the auxiliary effect of having to deal with that petrification baloney. And besides that, I think we should be able to take, yeah, most of these buddies. Bring 2 of you back up with us. No problem. Dethiax now, at this point in the game, absolute walk in the park for us, apparently. I guess 48 AC isn't quite anything to sneeze at there. Quite prolific number of AC, or level VC, I guess. But okay, here we go. What the heck do you even do? Okay, you don't have any willpower stuff. That solves that answer. I thought for sure this kind of like siren themed Witch of the Tides would. But water elementals, still a pain in the butt, but not quite as bad, honestly, when we don't need to breathe. And I don't care that much about anything you're wearing. So I think I'm okay fighting you over deep water. It's kind of the annoying part here for sure. Oh, no, don't want to attack the water elementals. I need to go right for her. I guess she has pretty decent evasion and wacky good willpower. Huh, didn't notice that. But even with good evasion, maybe, just maybe. There we go. Trying to find a path that hits at least 2 of these merfolk as well. Dang it, that's a pain in the butt. You know what? Just tab. Just go full tab fest. Not too quickly, of course, because we do have to be aware of the thrown icicles and whatnot. Ouch. That hurt. Oh, Tin of Tremor Stones is actually awesome against these people. They're all low armor, high evasion. Dang it, should have done that earlier. Even though maybe not, because we would have called a bit more attention to ourselves with that level of noise out in the open. But, what are we down to now? Just Polyphemus? I think just Polyphemus, right? The only unique left on the level here. Definitely the most travel heavy of all the uniques on level 2. We've ran into Polyphemus at like every single part of the map so far. I think one of the toughest Snake 4 levels I once had Vashnia, Agnes, Nicola, and Susan. That's definitely a rough batch. Oh my gosh, I wish I should remember more clearly some of my runs, because there are even some that we've had on stream here. We ran into Tiamat and someone else in the exact same little area, and that was ridiculous to me, because I've always held kind of Tiamat as one of the highest echelon of uniques that you can come across in the game. But yeah, Suzanne on her own, pretty scary for sure. I constantly underestimate Agnes, so my brain wants to be like, Agnes is, you know, you can deal with her, but I'm pretty sure she actually is, yeah, brutally strong for the most part, and I just usually have a run that doesn't have too much of an issue dealing with high evasion creatures, I guess, since that is one of her main kind of selling points. Even though just the fact that you can't run away makes her scary enough compared to most uniques, because that is usually the easiest solution. Best way to take care of a unique, just don't do it. Just ignore it. But okay. Oh my gosh, hey! Speak of the devil. Hey, hi Suzanne, or to be more accurate in this case, hi Suzanne. Hi Susan, as we're gonna maybe call you from now on, Madame Whitesnake. But okay, that's a pain in the butt. That's going to be a lot of Hydras coming this way. And even just looking at like her health levels alone, that's an extended fight for the most part. So, is it one I wish to take? Stairs are just a little bit back. We are at least faster than her. And we're faster than her Hydras as long as they're on land. As soon as they touch water, not quite as straightforward, unfortunately. But let's do it. Let's test out our throwing. We'll see. Jeez Louise. I forgot how strong silver javelins are. That's just absurd. So 3, 4, and one of those missed. So we've only hit with 3 javelins so far. We hit with 4 javelins, and we killed by Susan. Huh. Ain't that just the thing? Oh crap, I'm flying. And there is an air striker. Let's get the heck back down, touch down to land. Switch to our regular javelins as well for this nonsense. Not too shabby. So yeah, I guess that was a decent little advertisement to just how strong the silver javelins are. At least you're immune to electrical attacks. That's true. And wow, you made it look easy. Not on me at all. It's all those dang old silver javelins. They just work absolute wonders out there. Beautiful. But we must be running pretty close to having identified all the potions in the game. Oh, just 2. So this is either 2 potions of experience or 2 potions of ambrosia. They've got to be ambrosia, right? Right? Oh, dang it. I had to hope against hope. Still decided it was probably worth it to waste it. An XP potion. It doesn't matter when we take it. It's always good. And I don't mind wasting 1 ambrosia potion, specifically on a run where we're doing this well at the moment for consumables. Especially when, again, yeah, comboed with our friend Gozeg and the constant ability to petition further for potions. Hey, Zool, another tricky little buddy here. High evasion is always a pain in the butt. Do I think this is going to go as well? I mean, technically, it's an easier fight than by Suzanne. In every way possible, especially with full poison immunity. Might just be a little bit harder to hit, I guess. Trying out my trident a couple turns here. So the trident deals a lot less damage than our javelins, for sure. Because that took quite a few hits even after we were kind of in a pretty solid zone there. So that is definitely good to note, is that we've already kind of hit that critical point where throwing has surpassed our main weapon here. Ooh, let's turn our flight back on as well. Kind of been forgetting about that. Makes things a little bit easier in general. We're exploring shoals here. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, hopefully those 2 uniques are the scariest thing we'll find on this floor. I would love it if it was the scariest thing we found all for the rest of the game here. But I know that's asking for a bit much. Here, I'm gonna throw some boomerangs. I don't actually know what the best way to deal with a Kraken is on this character. Just using my trident now. This is a wee bit scary. Actually, what does the ink do? I don't know what the ink does. I mean, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to finish the fight, I guess. But I'm sure it did something. Probably makes it harder to hit the buddy. At least that would make sense since it's a defensive mechanism of the squid to do that. But okie dokie. Crossing our fingers. Easy Shoals 4. Come on, didn't you already throw everything you had at me, game, with that Shoals 2? There's no way, right? There's no way you have another plethora of uniques at your disposal here. In fact, does anyone in chat know off the top of their head if there's a limit to the number of uniques that can spawn, like, per floor? Because I feel like 4 might be the max I've ever seen. It's not something I've paid enough attention to explicitly. But kind of curious about that. Oh crap, Windrake is gonna hurt like a mother trucker here. That steam is saving my life though, and in fact, let's do do some of the same for us. Oh, that didn't work very well. Never mind. Okay. Go here. Stop blind. There we go. That'll save us a whole lot of trouble from that dang old Windrake. Oh, you suck. Get over here. Stand back to the wall so that you can't push me anywhere as well. I think I've had 5 unique spawn on level before. Okay, so definitely not 4, but then I guess to take it to the next logical step, is there any limit to the number of uniques, I wonder? Or if there is some minuscule probability that you could somehow end up with like 10 of them all in the same place. Folk avatar, do you know what? Oh wait, you're standing in deep water. Never mind. I was about to say I'm gonna throw some javelins, but that wasn't the answer until we got her to step up onto shallow water. Perfect. And that will help deal with that without losing too many of our precious javelins here. Really shouldn't be too shabby. Oops, I hit enter there instead of period. Because yeah, with these javelins, I'm trying to make sure to hit period to always throw it so it doesn't go through the target, but will stop at their feet and definitely not get washed away by the tides, as it were. Let's turn our flying back on, even though we'll probably just immediately run into another Windrake, knowing our luck. Tremor stones, we already paid good money for, don't need another one of those bad boys. I'm going to visit the shop while monsters are right in front of me, see if I care. Oh my gosh, this is really the run for anyone who really likes magical boots, because there's been a significant excess of magical boots as of yet. And I don't even think I want any of them. I think I love my boots of running. I should probably explore them. You know, we'll mark them, maybe, just in case. Sometime in the future we can experiment and explore. And then come to me, my pretties. Perfect. Nothing completely horrifying yet, but again, subject to change. Make sure you read the fine print there. You never know when you're safe. In fact, maybe I should just slow down the tiniest bit on my tabs. I can still go pretty quickly here, but definitely don't want to be holding it down when you never know what might pop out of the tide here. I do like that both of us were stabbing each other over the plant. Not a situation you often find outside of shoals. Jeez Louise, that Javelineer is just whipping them our way. In fact, all of them went into the deep water as well, so we wasted some of those, but that should be fine. This is such a nice build because you have permanent blight with boots of running. Usually it is one or the other for most characters. Definitely. No, huge advantages. And then tacking that on top of the fact that we're already playing as a Gargoyle, which has so many innate advantages on its own, definitely adds up pretty quick and turns into a pretty solid run here all in all. I'm going to drop Potions of Brilliance because I doubt that I'll actually be using those, even though perfect. Was a Ring of Ice, so we can fortunately throw it away right away. And I just say fortunately because so much of this game I'm more preoccupied with just trying not to spend every waking minute organizing my inventory. And instead it's kind of nice when you just get an easy, oh that's trash and I can throw it away. Hands clean. Jeez Louise. Oh, I'm getting mesmerized by you. That was the problem. Ouch. Well, definitely not the best way to take that fight. I was a little confident and over-cocky for the most part there, for sure. What I probably should have done is started as soon as I got mesmerized, started throwing javelins through all of them, but alas, we lived through it at the very least, so can't complain too much. And just try and do better next time instead. Tap, 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 tap. As I immediately go back to tab festing as fast as I can. No, for most of these fights, it shouldn't be too much of a problem here. Jeez. Okay. So we should do a little bit of a reconfiguring, I guess, of our inventory, because that wasn't even close to enough of a clean out, especially since this picking up this manual of shields, potentially really handy for training up for a tower shield, which will be the plan eventually for sure, especially since we already have one available for us if we so desired at the moment. So, on that note, what can I drop now? I want dispersal boomerangs for a fun little panic bun. I can put away the flame wand, I think. Yeah. And then one other thing we'll quickly do here is /dash takes us to our unexplored things or unidentified things. And checking to see if I should just start reading some of these scrolls. Potentially should. I don't really care about a lot of them. Enchant weapon and brand weapon, not really going to do much for us anyway. Let's try it out. This was a scroll of holy word. Okay. Quite a decent number of holy word scrolls all of a sudden. Probably won't need the majority of them as we go on forward, but I'm going to keep reading here. Wasting a few of these. Oh, magic scrolls, right? I'm silenced. Can't read in silence. Scroll of brand weapon. Identified and wasted, but that's fine. And there we go. We finally got scroll of fear. So now we just have 2 single scrolls left. Summoning. I want to read the acquirement scroll so badly. That's what I was kind of crossing my fingers for on each and every one of those little read IDs. But I don't really want to waste a summoning scroll. Yeah, I think it waits then. Let us keep going here, and there we go. We finally found the rune itself. Oh my gosh, look. Quivering so many javelins up in here. So Torment halves the health of everything. It's debating reading one of these scrolls, because the scroll of summoning could be kind of nice right now, actually. But let's step out here so that we have better view on all of our targets. Doing a quick check, because I'm pretty sure they're all crappy AC. Heck yeah, they are. Tin of Tremor Stones. Let's get to it. And absolutely engulf and destroy, and then we're just going to throw a second one in there. No problem. And pretty much take out everyone? Heck yeah. Okay. That's the way you want to do it for sure. I have to try my best to remember that as a solution for future potential problems, because I'm likely not going to remember. But there we go. Rune number 2. Absolutely no worries there. After we got through that shady second floor, of course. And okie dokie. On to the next phase here. Still haven't even done Orc 2, I guess, so that seems like a nice place to go now. Should be fairly straightforward, all things considered. Never any true guarantee of that, but relative to the end of the S-Vaults, usually. You would hope so at the very least. Okie dokie. Down we go. Good. And in fact, one of my greatest concerns here and worries is just autopiloting too much. Which is a good problem to have, don't get me wrong. But I want to make sure that I don't get too tab heavy here. Otherwise, I will definitely put myself into a frightful situation. Just in my sheer rush and negligence. So, kind of stepping through these. Oh my gosh, Arug as well. This is the perfect game for us. One of the few games where we're actually getting the number of javelins showing up that I'd like. Actually making our throwing training fully pay off here. Love it. And // for all that stuff. It's mostly worrying about tabbing into High Priests that has me a wee bit hesitant on that front. Most of this fodder stuff, not a problem. In fact, most melee fighting things, we have a high enough AC that they're not going to be dealing too much damage. How much? Okay, still inert on the Tremor Stones. Dang, this is another very tempting opportunity to just start the earthquake. But should be fine here. just fight through in a bit more of a traditional sense. In fact, we're killing things before they're even able to surround us, which is pretty solid. I guess some of them were excluded from that because they were using pole arms. They weren't exactly trying their best to close the distance. But still, quite happy with how that turned out. That was a weird little vault there where it was all very weak orcs instead of the usually expected sorcerers and high priests. But I'm sure that we're just getting to that, and we'll run into the mass array of them in just a bit. But I'm going to buy another blinking scroll. We're up to 8, including that, so that is awesome to have in our back pocket. Mutation potion is always nice to have as an option to buy in the future. And to heal wounds as well, why not? Those orcs just melted away, right? It's not so often that I have this casual of a tab fest. Even though there is, again, little asterisk there that's just saying, let's not be too mindless about this, shall we? Don't want to throw away such a promising start here. But do not, in fact, I should really switch to my silver javelins. I do kind of want to save them for orbs of fire, but I don't mind using them on these dang old high priests as well. Dang it, keep missing. Oh, dang it, cool, or dang it, game, I'm trying to be cool in front of my friends and show them off the thing I was just saying. Why you gotta be so lame about it, game? What's the snazziest way to take out these buddies? No, maybe I should get out of here at this point before I get smited too much. Take advantage of our boots of running. Just walk the heck out of there. Re-engage this in just a moment when I'm thinking a bit more clearly about what exactly we'll want to do to fight all those bad boys. In fact, I'm going to make sure to wait a few turns. I'm sure some of these buddies are following us, so I don't mind clearing out some of the fodder here. And in fact, kind of just works to drag them out a little bit and take them on one at a time like that. I guess if we wanted fully optimal play with the boots of running here, that's probably how we should be taking every single encounter we run into. Just constantly running away and making them filter out like that. Especially any fight that includes enemies that move different speeds relative to each other, because if we can get them to split naturally like that, that's pretty huge. Definitely simplify even some fights that would normally be absolutely brutal. But this is a fight I'm okay with just continuing to tab through as long as the Orc High Priest doesn't summon any demons. I don't think they stood much of a chance there, so that's pretty sweet. I definitely am most likely missing a lot of things on the ground, magical items, hopefully not any super important artifacts. But I'm also not too worried about it because obviously at the end of all this, we'll make sure to do a scan of the items on the floor on this level. Make sure that we're not leaving anything special behind. But okay, here goes. The Shops of Orc 2, hopefully game changers, and already my eye was drawn to the first artifact here. And Reflect, another RC stack and shielding +5. Fantastic. Especially since our regen necklace is kind of handy for keeping ourselves topped off, but I still would very gladly switch that over for Reflect. Yeah, it's a shame the developers did away with Boots of Running in the trunk version. Right, it's a shame to some extent, but I totally get it. It's that example that I just gave that had its essence is like the very reason why that they shouldn't be a thing in the game. Because not only does it allow you to do that with pretty much every fight, but there's almost, no reason why you shouldn't do that with any type of character, regardless of background or kind of playstyle. It's just good. Which seems to be, against the kind of ethos of the developers, which I respect. There we go. For condenser veins, though, I'm going to snap buy up a condenser vein because I love having those around here. And should also drop my brand weapon scrolls, actually. Now that I'm still trying to balance out our inventory here. Drop the Guardian Spirit Guardian Necklace even, maybe? That seems good. Okie dokie. This is a bit of an interesting run because it's pretty much strong enough to take on anywhere. Essentially, I guess, to break this down a little bit, break my thoughts down, I was just thinking to myself about, okay, so we could head to Elf next. We could go through, but we have a pretty good weapon on us already. We have a lot of javelins. We don't really need any specific treasure. Resistances are pretty solid across the board if we need them to be. Can kind of supplement here and there. It's tempting to just not bother, and we could instead make some real progress of our own here. I mean, if we're feeling real crazy and wacky here, we could head to depths, try and clear down, and then immediately just head to slime, get our third rune, see if we can't start tying a bow on this buddy. It's tempting for sure. I do feel like we're at least strong enough to go to either depths or vaults without too much trouble. Vaults 5 might be a bit of a pain in the butt, but we do at least have options there, even if we want to just stay at the bottom of the stairs and fight the entire floor. Javelins make it really nice for essentially smite targeting, even better because it's a penetration that hits all targets. But for smite targeting, the vault wardens that prevent you from going upstairs, so that is a pretty nice advantage. And we could definitely think about doing vaults as our third rune for this bad boy. Just thought I should check. Banishment 9%. I don't love it, but I think I'll have to take that. Because, I mean, you're worse with paralyze and stuff now that I think about it. There we go. Let's get just the Lich next to us. Take them out. We can take these buddies one at a time. Definitely is preferable in some ways. Okay, that really worked out as they just reflected a bunch of damage into themselves anyway. 2 fire dragons shouldn't be too much of a pain, I think. Just 1 pip of RF paid. I did think we were at 2 off the top of my head, but honestly, a single resistance in every category is solid enough for the average fight we'll be running into here. There we go. We have made our egress into depth. Maybe, I mean, I was about to say maybe we should have gone with axes this time around because it's turning out to be a run that we can afford to be surrounded by enemies a decent amount. But I guess saying that doesn't really track or follow through because we probably would have switched this spear, artifact spear, on picking it up anyway. But it is those situations where I do kind of wish I was swinging around an axe and could have just cleaved through all those bad boys in one fell swoop here. Okay, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Oh my lord. 10 of Tremor Stones, I think, is my only answer here to just immediately take out all those dang bogarts. And then the last one, now that we've reduced the numbers a little bit, last one we can maybe javelin down. Go something a bit more straightforward. Oh, you're not a summon. That shock wasp is real. That's important to take note of. Come on, there we go, killed the bogart. So yes, in fact, let's retreat back here to our beauty little corridor. No, it shouldn't matter too much. Yeah, not too shabby in terms of enemies we find here. Innate Arlek is again just huge. Oh gosh, things are getting scarier now though. Some mighted trolls on the way. Let's maybe start thinking things through. Ooh, right, they're gonna be destroying walls everywhere. Dang it. I just got rid of my nice hallway by accident. Okay, do you know what? Fine. Tremor Stones. We're just blowing the lid off. And didn't do as much as I thought, honestly. So let's also condenser veins and condenser vein. And just poison clouds. But still, nothing here is resistant, I don't believe, actually. Not even these buddies. Yeah, susceptible even. Heck yeah. So I'll definitely take that. I don't even know if these buddies are confused or distracted. They are confused. Beautiful. It's a little bit of overlap there where you never know if they're entranced by the gold or stumbling about in the poison fog. But actually, yeah, we were talking earlier in the run here about some of the big advantages of polearms in general. But that's one that I actually didn't think about until just now. Is really nice for fighting unique or strong hitting enemies that are confused. Because normally you're fairly safe, you're taking a lot less damage, but they might random chance hit you right in the face. But with the trident, you have that one space gap that you can kind of keep between you while they're in that confused state, which is nice. Have you faced the unique Jorgrun in this game yet? I feel like that's the one unique that could pose a big threat. We have not faced Jorgrun yet, and you're definitely not wrong about that. I expect to run into Jorgrun at some point, because seems like every Gargoyle run I go through the dungeon with, I end up running into that bad boy. And even the only other Gargoyle run we've done on stream, we ran into Jorgrun and had to take care of him. So it's definitely a funny one. And hopefully we'll be prepared when we run into him. But even before that, here's Mara. Okie dokie. Shouldn't be too bad. High evasion enemies are always a bit of a pain here. And fire is your main thing. Okay, that's good to take quick mental note of, but otherwise, let's throw in an early potion petition. I'm hoping for a good haste resistance. Actually, haste resistance and might is pretty much the killer combo. So let's just grab that and start poking this bad boy. And in fact, this fight may end up being, yeah, just a tab fest the whole time, apparently. No problems whatsoever. Demon Trident of Electrocution. Ooh, that's actually a pretty tempting alternate weapon here. We don't really need to hold on to this trident at all times. I mean, Vorpal is nice because it's not an elemental damage, so it's not resisted by things, but sometimes it's nice to have those electrical hits, and the Demon Tridents, of course, also do hit slightly more often. Okay.